Hello and welcome to the MHG podcast. As usual, life can be a little bit miserable, life can be a little bit dark, so we are here to bring you as much light and as much joy as we possibly can, because I'm Bradley, I'm joined by Stu, and because hell, life is going to hell in a handcart all around the world, we're just going to bring the joy this week. So Stu, hit me with some joy, give me something positive to start the week on, end the week on, whatever it is. We put it out at the start of the week, we record it at the end of the week, so give us something good for the weekend. I don't know.
I've been playing good games. Yeah, I've been playing good games. That's always joyous.
Yes, it is. I've been playing also a good game, which I'm not really going to talk about today, from a major corporation that I feel really bad about, but I offset my badness.
Yeah, you have to do the badness offset, definitely.
Yeah, I couldn't help myself. We got Forza.
Oh, that's one of mine this week.
Oh, is it?
It is.
I kind of got it, and I was like, I've played all of them, and I was like, I really, really want it, but I don't want to support genocide, so we've donated to a charity that helps feed and give medical aid to Gaza, children in Gaza. So done that. Yeah,
that's a good idea.
Still feel crap, but I can't help. But I really wanted it. But we'll talk about that a bit later.
Yes, yeah, we can cover all that.
Do you know what else supports genocidal maniacs?
What's that?
Video game antagonists.
They do, and a lot of video game studios as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was trying to avoid the politics side.
We try to. It's so embedded in everything, though.
Yes. I'm going to ask you this week.
Go on, then.
What have you been playing? Seeing as you've already spoiled a bit.
Well, I'll throw a spanner in the works by starting with a different game, which is Mina the Hollower, which is kind of, everyone's going on about. It's this month's Balatro or whatever.
Probably actually the biggest release of the month.
Indeed, yeah. Much more so than Forza 6.
I would argue, no, you're not far off. It's one of those indies that you just go, actually, yeah, this is like a big release.
It is. It really is. Because it's by the Shovel Knight guys, isn't it? So I think it is, isn't it?
Yep, Yacht Club Games.
Yeah. Not paid a lot of attention to what was coming next from them because I didn't like Shovel Knight. But, that's just a personal thing. I could recognise it was a great game. So this was a bit of a sort of shock to me as well, that it was from them. And it feels like Shovel Knight came out about 30 years ago at this point as well. So I was like, where have you been? But clearly what...
Making lots and lots of DLC and expansions for the original. And that really cool puzzle game we both like.
Well, that's it. I mean, if it makes you money and people enjoy it, then you're onto a winner, aren't you?
Yeah.
So fair play to them. So... Mina the Hollower. So odd name because it's basically The Legend of Zelda. I suppose it fits. It kind of rhymes. It has the right number of syllables. But yeah, bit strange. So what it is, it's basically a Zelda or like of the 2D top-down variety. But it takes it in a lot more sort of sophisticated modern directions than that. It's got a welter of features. Is that the right word? I haven't used it for decades either.
Why not?
Yeah, exactly. I'm sticking with it. It's got a welter of features. So there's loads of things that your character can do. Your character's a mouse, and all the people and creatures you encounter are a mixture of like anthropomorphic animals and humans. Very odd.
Yeah.
You go around and you hit stuff pretty much like you do with Zelda, but you also do kind of, environmental puzzles as well, so that you can get into new places and activate new stuff and turn switches on and avoid spikes and all of the Zelda kind of stuff. And, there's a big gap in the market for this, obviously, because you're never going to get that from Nintendo again, or very unlikely to. And they've done it in a NES sort of style, and it's got that kind of Shovel Knight aesthetic, and feeling. It's clearly aiming for a nostalgia hit from its audience, visually at least. And I bought it because, as I said to you in the week, I bought it through FOMO, really. I was like, everyone's talking about this thing, and there's no demo, and I really want to play it, see what the fuss is all about. So,
and if I don't play this single player only game, I might miss the bandwagon.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, because that's exactly what happens, isn't it?
Yeah, I know FOMO, trust me.
Yeah, it doesn't hit me very often, but I got it. And it brings up an interesting debate on FOMO, really, because I really don't enjoy this game. Like, I'm really, really trying to enjoy it, and I really don't. And there's some, like, really obvious reasons why not, and none of them to do with the quality of the game. And one of the big ones is that, as I've told everyone millions of times, I have a terrible sense of direction. So a game where there's no map and there's no, like, real hints of where to go, and you got to figure it all out yourself, I can eventually do it, but I don't find it entertaining. I find it stressful. So
yeah,
anything like that, when people go, oh yeah, God, you're not handheld, you don't know where you're going, you just explore. I'm like, no, that's terrible. Yeah, exactly. Hold me by my hand and lead me where I need to go next.
Cover the world in yellow paint.
Yes, please, because that debate comes up all the time as well, and I'm like, no, it's great, it's perfect.
I might make a game and send it to the yellow paint factory.
That would be quite funny, actually. Or you could do, like, you know, the oh God, what's it called? The uncovered swan, unfinished swan.
Yeah, unfinished swan.
Yeah. Where you reveal the landscape. Yeah, that's ideal for me. It's just like the opposite.
We don't do yellow paint in our game. We've got this brand new, ultra amazing advancement in video games. We call it pink paint.
Yeah. That's it. That's the best way. Or just have every single game should have what you have in Dead Space, where you click down on the stick and it guides you exactly where you need to go.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, I don't like that. So that's a bit of a shame, because that's almost the entirety of the game. So that was a bit of a drawback. So I don't like that, and I don't like the graphics. And the reason I don't like the graphics is because way back when I first saw an NES, I would somebody that I knew from school, and my mum was friends with their mum, and I wasn't really his friend, but we were around his house and he was playing Super Mario, and my first impression was, I really like the look of the gameplay, but those graphics are horrible because that colour palette is disgusting. And I've never...
What was you, 40 when you went round there?
I know, right? But that's me. I've always been odd. Since a very young nipper, I've been a weird one. And I was like, yeah, okay, so we've broken out of... obviously I didn't articulate it like this back then, but we've broken out of playing on the Spectrum, which, limited colours is an under-exaggeration, to this. And I'm like, why doesn't it look like the arcade? And then I saw the Master System and I was like, this is what I'm after. And I went all in on the Master System. And so I've never liked the NES graphics. That palette for me is like the ugliest. It's like, okay, let's take all the primary colours and shift them along one and go for all the, want to use a lovely blue? No, we're having purple. Want to use a strong red? No, you can have a kind of pinkish colour, and never liked it. Anyway, so on top of that, because it's so 8-bit and old styled, I find the details hard to parse on the screen. It's a bit muddy for me. Now, this is my only criticism so far that a human being would actually make. The rest of it is just my personal taste and is complete bullshit, and you shouldn't listen.
We're replacing Stu with AI, don't worry.
Yeah, please do. And you shouldn't listen to any of the things I've said, apart from the fact that it is a bit visually muddled. That's definitely the case.
Oh, it definitely is. Yeah.
It is. And I on top of the fact that it uses the NES palette, that's very off-putting to me. And it's really strange because it's an excellent game. You know, I like the game mechanics. I like the fact that you're allowed to tweak basically all the values. So how high you jump, how fast you run, how long you can burrow for, you know, how much damage you take, how much damage the enemies take. Everything is up for grabs, which is great. You can dial the game in, you know, to your experience, which you can also do in Forza, which we'll be coming to. And it's so much power in the hands of the player. Great mechanically. Adjusting those values, obviously it leads to some imbalances and things that don't work as perfectly as they should. But by and large, that power is in the player's hands, and that's a good thing. It's also, you know, the dialogue's pretty good, and the background story is pretty interesting. It's reasonable, and there's a decent amount of character to the whole thing, even though it's in the limited palette. And it's using very, very basic graphics. It's not the route I would have gone. Yeah, I would have gone for like a 16-bit look, 16-bit Zelda. But hey, you know, that's just me. As a game, it's fantastic. As an example of FOMO, it's perfect because I should not have bought this. It was a stupid idea, and I don't really know why I did it.
Yeah, no, on a couple of points you've made. So the visual side of it, the colour palette of it, reminds me of almost like when you took a Game Boy game and you played it on a Game Boy Color. It's kind of got that to it, where it's kind of guessing what the grayscale or the monochrome values of those colours would be.
Yeah.
And you're right, it looks a little bit off and it looks a bit muddied. Not as bad as some games I've seen in other areas. And also on the visuals, the actual design of Mina, the mouse, on there that they show, that kind of like really well drawn high def artwork. I want that game.
Yeah.
I want this kind of like HD 2D thing going on that like it just looks really nicely drawn, and I want that character. I want to see him do something with that at some point down the line. But the other point with Yacht Club, and I have picked this up, I've just not had time to play it yet because I've been playing some other bits. I don't like in the build up to this, they was really almost putting pressure on their Shovel Knight fans to buy this, which is, if this game isn't a success, we won't survive. Don't like that.
No.
Don't like that, because you're now telling people they've got to buy your game, rather than it selling it on its own merit. And don't get me wrong, I believe this deserves it on its own merit, but there was a lot of, if this doesn't sell well, that's the end of Yacht Club. How have you got yourself in that situation? You're in an independently run company, so you're not beholden to shareholders or EA or Ubisoft or anything like that who have bought you and shuttering you if you don't get the right numbers. You're you. So if you're taking this long to put a game out and it's got to make money, you've got to sell it so that your company survives, maybe you need to have a little look at what's up with the way you're running your company, the way you're making games.
Yeah,
it just rubbed me up the wrong way. Not enough to stop me buying it, because it looks fantastic, and the brief go I've had of it, I'm like, yeah, I want more of this when I get time to play it properly. But that whole, we need people to buy this, that's could you imagine if EA did that?
That leaves a really bad taste. I mean, it's bad whatever way you look at it, because it's bad if they're telling the truth, because it means they've been financially mismanaged. And if they're lying just to boost sales, then that's morally poor. So yeah, that's not good.
No, it is only minor. They weren't like their advertising campaign or anything like that. It's a few social media posts, and social media posts from a company like Yacht Club, they know who that's aimed at. That is aimed at hardcore fans, and it's almost saying, look, we know you'll probably buy it, but you better buy it. Oh yeah,
that's a bit sleazy, really.
Yeah. Moving on though.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's move on. I'm going to move on to a game that I was going to go at the end, but I'm going to do this now. which, because on the visual point of view, I think you might like this visually, but unlike me, I don't think you'll like the gameplay at all.
Fair enough.
So it's called Echo Generation 2, which is a sequel to a game called Echo Generation, unsurprisingly. And it's a sci-fi JRPG with deck building mechanics. So again, I think I've lost you. Okay.
Go out.
But so I'll take you through. Like, the gameplay is very much, you've got a story, you take this character, you build a party, you go through, you come across enemies, and you battle them using deck building techniques. So you get cards you unlock, and they do certain powers. You can unite them, you can do all this and all that. And it's actually fairly standard now. It's one of those where it's melded two things together. You're like, get that, seen this before, I like it, let's play. Really good game, plays really well, bit short if anything. But there's nothing you haven't seen before if you've played deck builders, you've played JRPGs, you get your skill trees, etc., etc. Everything's there for both the genres, put together really well. Now, you know me, I'm not a graphics whore, on the whole.
Absolutely not.
But this, oh my God, there's something about this. It's like they found a generation between the PlayStation 1 and the PlayStation 2 era and gone, oh, we're making our game for that. Because visually, it's kind of got this HD pixel art that is pseudo polygonish, late era PS1 but not when we went to full, look at this amazing graphics of the PS2. It's like it stopped before that, but it's not quite PS1 levels. It's gone beyond PS1 levels. So everything's got this kind of like really, everything's bulked out and feels weighty, looks weighty. It's got this polygonal feel to it. It's kind of got that thing. So do you know on like some PS1 era games where the camera's kind of moving around, but it's definitely in a 3D world, but it looks like they've melded together maybe 4 or 5 different 2D planes and just kind of they've twisted them as the camera's moving around.
Yeah,
it has that weird effect. It's kind of got that, but again, slightly more advanced. The characters are flat looking, but okay, they look 3D and everything, and they look pixel drawn in a 3D space. All the characters are unique in their look, and they've each got their great personalities. Just visually, it is just one of the most beautifully retro games that's not based on anything that's actually been out before retro-wise. And yeah, oh my God, it's such a looker. It plays fairly decently. It's a fun game, just a bit short, but just for looks alone, it is one of the most interesting looking games I've seen for so long.
Yeah, it was very curious. I really like that style. Yeah. I like JRPGs. I'm not too averse to being card battler based, but how roguey is it? Is it very roguey or is it not roguey? How roguey?
It's a little bit roguey. In terms of... No, I wouldn't actually... No, it's not. It's not. You kind of... It's checkpointy.
Okay.
So I lost some early battles, went back to a couple of rooms earlier that I was in. So checkpoint is not like every few seconds. So you might have to redo a room or two that you've done previously as you've gone through the story. It's checkpoint. It's not roguey at all. No, you do go back, but it's not from the very start. You can do. Like, there's nothing to stop you doing that. But no, it's not. It's not roguey at all, actually. I don't know why I even thought it might be.
Cool.
And the deck building is in universe deck. It's not about finding the meta. It's not trying to break the game. So a lot of like Slay the Spire, Balatro, all things like that are about breaking the game. This is about using the cards within the game to progress. So you could replace the cards in this with abilities and stuff like that, like traditional JRPG type stuff. But I think the cards helps a different audience understand the game better than if it was just pure JRPG, which is really interesting. But as I said, I really enjoyed it. And if anything, it's only a few hours. I wanted a bit more. I wanted a little bit more once I was finished with it. It was good, and I was like, what more?
That's
Another couple of hours would have done well.
That's pretty intriguing. Yeah, I might have to check that one out, to be honest, because...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Highly recommended. It's 20-ish quid as well. So absolute, bargain's the wrong word, but absolutely spot on pricing for what you get here. Lots of bang for your buck. As I say, visually gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. And if we was to split our awards and do sound design, whatever, visual story, this would definitely be right up there in the visual category. Not because it's the prettiest game. It's not. It's not the most realistic. It's probably not going to have the best art style in it, but just it's so unique in the way it's approached. It's retro aesthetic. It's well worth checking out.
Then I definitely will. Brilliant.
Do it. Before I let you go on to your next one, I was going to cover one more quickly because I'll probably have things to say about your next one anyway.
You will.
So another one on the cover. It's just if you like cozy games, pick this up. You'll enjoy it. If you don't like cozy games, don't pick it up. You're not going to get anything from it. So it's called One Move Away, and it's a 3D moving simulator in a way. So you basically are following the life of a character or their story through life, and there's different stories and stuff like that. And the idea is it's taking them at major points in their life where they are going from a childhood home to their own, to college, to their own home, then wherever to wherever. So it's taking you in these various different places. It's all based around moving away. The idea is you're packing up a trunk or a trailer and all different things, and you've got to pick up your items and fit them in the trailer or your car or your suitcase or whatever it is. And the premise of the game is basically doing car Tetris, essentially, to pack to move away. But as you're doing it, you're being regaled with this story of why they're moving away and what's happened in their life up to that point. They'll come across an item and reminisce about it, and it'll go across, from like 1999 up to like 2007 and stuff like that. And you're like getting all these stories, and it's all in 3D. You've got freedom with how you put it all in, etc., etc. There's achievements tied to certain things you do, and it's all that. It's just a really fun, relaxing, cozy game that can be just whack it all in there best you can, take the story in, move on, or you can really try and be a packing master if you really want to be. It is a lot of freedom there, but it's just a fun, cozy story, which I think, looking at some Steam reviews of this and everything, there's not many. And I think a lot of people have not got this as well. I think a lot of people want more from this than what it probably is. It's just a nice, I would say, a coming-of-age tale, or a life story from someone that's just got a nice little way of, rather than you just walking about, here's the bits you do. And I enjoyed it. So get through it in a weekend. It was a nice way to while away the hours. So, yeah, cool game.
Yeah, I like those kind of gentle, friendly, while away some time kind of games occasionally. Yeah, very cool.
They will be picking one up soon, actually, but like very not similar to this, but it's called Librarian. And you live in like this arcade library, and all the books are just everywhere, like thousands of them, and you've basically just got to put them all away on the shelves, and that's the entire game. And apparently people have been picking it up and just gone, this is brilliant. Just tidying up constantly, putting books in order. I'm like, yeah, I'll give that a go. So I'm going to pick that up at some point. It's only like £6 as well, so I'll be picking that up.
Nice one. Although, yeah, all librarians are punk-ass book jockeys, you do realise.
Yeah. But yeah, there's not much more to say about One Move Away. It's just, I love it. I really do enjoy it. It's not going to win Game of the Year awards or anything. It's one of those. I've played it over a weekend, really enjoyed it, highly recommend it. I don't know what else to say about it, so it's not a long one. So let's move on.
Okie dokie.
Let's move away.
Yeah. By the way, the punk-ass book jockeys thing is Parks and Rec, because she hates libraries. Leslie Note hates libraries.
Sorry, I completely missed the reference.
That's all right.
I do know that reference. I apologise. I made you look like a fool.
Oh, no, I don't feel like a fool. Don't worry. Yeah, it's a popular repeated phrase in our house because my wife used to work in a library and it ended on a very very bad note. So she's very down on libraries now. So we're constantly calling them punk ass book jockeys. So yeah.
Oh, ours is, well, mine is, like, Lorraine doesn't get it. But when she says something like, oh, I can't stand that, and I go, oh, do you know what else I can't stand? The Dutch. She goes, what do you mean? It's Austin Powers.
Yep. Yeah, that's right.
There's two things I can't stand. As people who are intolerant of other people's cultures and the Dutch.
Yep.
And I'm sorry, it's just my favourite line from the entire Austin Powers franchise. Delivered absolutely perfectly by Michael Caine.
It is. It's excellent. Yeah, I like that one. Well, where I've been digitally is nowhere near Holland. In fact, is practically the other side of the world because I've been playing Forza Horizon 6. I nearly called it Forza Horizon 2. I don't know why. But yeah, no, we're quite a way past that. We're at number 6 now. And my copy was gifted to me. So I didn't pay for it.
God damn it, so you don't have the moral quandary.
I do not. No, I do not. Yeah. So we'll glide over that.
We'll skip the politics and we'll talk about the game
about the
week.
game. Yeah.
Yes.
And it's playground games, and they're a first party, but, they're still a separate institution. Anyway, so what have they brought new to the table? That's the only question that matters, really, when you're this far into a franchise.
Technically not much.
Well, for me, I think they've sharpened up the feeling of festival. I think that's one of the important things they've done. And they've brought it to a point where it feels more like ironically, a playground. You didn't get that so much with 4, because that was the Scotland one, wasn't it? And the
UK,
yeah, that's right. And the previous one, 5, it did and it didn't. I don't know. It looked great, but it felt like driving around a landscape. Whereas I think what they've finally got hold of with 6 is, when you're driving around, it looks realistic, even though obviously we know it's like foreshortened, they've foreshortened the areas between things, and absolutely fine. But when you engage in a race, suddenly it's like, oh yeah, this is like you expect in the arcade. So what I mean by that is they've cleverly constructed the tracks so that you're not just either driving through like an endless forest, or you're driving on an overpass or any of that. It blends them all nicely together. It cuts out sections of geography so that you're constantly being impressed by how they've routed you. It's very, very clever the way that they've done it, and very, very fun. It doesn't matter how clever it is, and it doesn't matter how technically proficient it is, because you know that it's going to be. What's important is it fun? And that's it. It brings the fun. It brings the joy. You have the joy of exploration if you want it, by just driving around in between like competitive races. But then when you engage in a race, it's done in such a way that there's a lot of variant surfaces. There's a lot of different heights. The surface texture really matters. You're constantly, depending on the type of race, you're constantly crossing over different, feeling materials, which is great. And the weather's changing, and all through that, they've still got this arcade sensibility that they never really nailed up until now. And it really does feel like, at least the look of it and the atmosphere of going around those courses feels much more arcadey. So they've totally nailed it for me. It's a fantastic game. It'll vary for you depending on what you want out of it, and it still has that problem of being, because it's a simcade and because it's both a track racer and a point-to-point racer and an open world. It's like, who are you really catering for? But for me, it just hits all the right spots, so I absolutely love it.
Yeah, it does. So one of the things that's happened over the years with Forza is the very first one that came out was brilliant, but it was, even though it was open world, the roads were closed off. So you was limited to the roads, and then Forza Horizon 2 was on both 360 and then Xbox One. And the Xbox One kind of managed to give you freedom, more freedom. And it's gradually, as it got to like 4, and that had more and more freedom, to eventually it was just pure, you can go anywhere. We'll give you this world you can go, and you can go absolutely anywhere, any direction you want. There's nothing stopping you. Bar the flat earth theory, because you get to the edge and you can't go any further. So Forza proves flat earth theory, by the way.
Yeah, it does.
Anyway, it does, yeah. It doesn't. It really doesn't, by the way. Before you start seeing YouTube videos detailing how Forza is the truth. And yeah, it's as it's gone, it's kind of tried to do different things. So Forza Horizon 2 was really the real festival one for me. That was the biggest festival based one. You had a cast of characters, and it really wanted to try and bring the characters in, and it. Why they led with, bizarrely, like Sean Maguire of Grange Hill fame was one of the main characters in it. Don't know why. And they used his likeness and everything.
That's bizarre.
I was like, I know Playground are British, but did they really think people are going to be sitting there going, oh, it's him from Grange Hill. Oh my God, got to play it. Yeah, it was a weird one. Why they had to face scan Sean Maguire. It looked like Sean Maguire as well, which is, yeah. Anyway, he was in it, but he had lots of character. And then I felt a little bit. You had one of the ones that you was running the Horizon Festival, and you was having, it was always like a sort of like business manager light type thing. Like your business was run by doing tricks and that, to go, oh look, come to this area because look how amazing it is because of all the tricks we're doing. So you had to kind of do that, and it just made progression feel a bit of a grind and just a bit, oh yeah, right. But it was still fun to drive in. And what I think you've got to now, 5 was brilliant overall, but I wasn't a big fan of of Mexico and everything. It just felt a bit too open, and in places felt a bit too vacuous. They could have shrunk that down a bit, maybe, and maybe got more out of it. But in Japan, by the way they've used the different regions now, it feels like a living, breathing world. Like you're going through it, and there's things to do almost everywhere. But you also get like, I've always liked the pottering about bit of the Forza Horizon games. This I've not got bored of pottering around in. So much so I was like, oh okay, I used to do it and go, right, I've got a speed trap, but I only got 1 star. I've got to go back and do that now because that's all there is really I want to do. This, I'm like, I've got 1 star, I'll come back to that. I just want to follow this road and see where it goes and look for everything, the photographs you take, the different cars you can buy, the aftermarket cars and everything. Like the only thing I think they've regressed on really this time round is the wheel spins. The wheel spins used to feel like something you was like, yes, I've got a wheel spin. I'm going to win something cool, like either some good money. On the car, occasionally you'd get like a horn or a cosmetic. This feels more like, where's the cars? Give me the cars. The wheel spin should be special. Give me the bloody cars. Now, whether that will come later after, everyone's played through it a bit and they start dishing out gift wheel spins and stuff like that in your inbox, maybe. But lots of small amounts of money, lots of like holding. There are ways of gaming it and stuff like that. And even the way of cheesing, like the car mastery stuff is fun now as well. The online stuff's fun. It works really well. My biggest thing I don't like, and I've not liked in any of these really, is the drifting parts of the game because they're just so difficult that when you do get to them, you then got to actually get a specific tune to do it and get it all done properly. It's just, I want to be able to just have a bit of arcadey drift. Let me drift in a better way. And for all their accessibility, I would like to see Playground do something with, not an auto drift, but if you want it, a hand-holding drift that'll go, right, we will control this so you can concentrate on your lines and stuff. It's just a couple of little bits to help there that I think that's got to be their next thing to work on in terms of accessibility. Other than that, I think this is their best world yet.
Yeah, excellent. No, I'm glad you roughly feel the same way. You got far more detailed impressions than me, which is good. But I
point out representation in the game as well.
Yeah, which I found in the previous games I've played.
Yes,
which is great. Yeah, it's lovely that it's top of their list.
Yeah, because I can have my leg false in there, so I've actually rocking a character, as I like to do, my female character, because if I can't be my true self in real life, because we've been through that discussion before, I could do it in video games. I always go a bit alternative, but I can actually have a false leg as well now, prosthetic leg, which is great.
It is. It's fantastic.
And they've even done it, not just, here's a prosthetic leg. Either side, you can have it at different cuts of your leg as well. So you can have a full prosthetic, you can have it at the knee and everything. They've even got hearing aids in there that you can have different colours. So you can really start to make yourself in the game. And that is amazing. Absolutely amazing. And I believe from the start, because in Forza Horizon 5, they added in sign language support. I believe that's in from the start here. I've not double-checked that one, but I believe that's in from the start. So, look, for all you can say about Microsoft, and we can and we will do in future, Playground Games, their accessibility options, honestly, I think are one of the exemplars of how to do it.
Absolutely, yeah, you're absolutely right. It's crazy that comes from a company, basically like Microsoft. It's mad. They're such a strange beast. I think it's because they're so gigantic, and they've got such a reach that they can be from one end of the earth to the other. They can be a different company, in a different location. Their mindset just totally different.
And I know a lot of the Xbox staff, I've seen accounts where they want to be distanced from Microsoft. They're like, look, we do not agree. We cannot help that we are part of this major. We are not supporting, but I need a job.
Yeah.
And people need... This is always a big argument. People need video games. Which sounds bizarre. If you're someone who's in your 70s, 80s and everything, you're going, you don't need video. You do. We need it. Our world is so shite that we need this escapism. I'm never getting out to Japan. I'm never getting out to Mexico. I'm probably never getting up to Scotland. That's how bad money and the world is right now. So I get to visit these places, or representations of these places in stunning detail via video games. We've spoke about digital tourism before, and I think Forza Horizon is one of the ultimate digital tourism games there is out there.
Definitely. And I think also it's one of the main reasons why it being arcadey is so important, because what you want when you have that kind of digital kind of third-hand experience of not really being there but giving the impression of it is that you want an impression of it. You don't actually want the reality of it, because there's a lot of boring normal infrastructure in the way when you go to a country. What you want is your idealized representation of that country. You still want it to look comparatively real, and you don't want it to be fantastical, but you want it to be idealized because, why not? I mean, when we are tourists, we go to the idealized spots and we keep our eyes closed through the boring bits. And when we come home, the photographs are not of the liminal spaces or the boring crap. It's always the most beautiful elements. And yeah, it lets you do that. And yeah, just briefly touching on the graphics, they are phenomenal. I got it running really well on my PC, and my PC's really creaking now. But it scales so well because presumably they've done that so that it'll actually work on the Series S. And
on the Steam Deck, it's like I've got it low settings like overall, but with medium car visuals, and it's just it's a looker there as well.
Yeah,
I've put up a couple of photos on the forum on Real Milk, which we frequent. And, others are better, they're more stunning, but I'm looking at mine going, do you know what? Okay, you showed me this when I was 15, I'll be going, that's not possible. Okay, that's not even the best version.
Yeah, no, exactly. And my final word on it is that the game gives me dirt vibes and grid, and it's just like, it feels, it handles as close to those as you'd expect it could get to by it not being by the Codys. But, Yeah,
it is the proper it's Simcade with the emphasis more towards the arcade side.
Yeah.
It's accessible from the get-go. Now, when you turn off all the assists, do you know what? I've played sim racers that aren't quite as sim as this.
Really?
And you can't be too sim because it's an open world playground. So, sometimes I would like to go, if you could just give me a limiter that allowed me to drive the roads at their actual designated speed limits, just so I could take it all in without having to constantly feather the trigger and stuff. I know that's what auto drive is for, but sometimes I do just want to drive it as well. I do have one bone to pick with it though. Playground games.
Go for it.
So you get your rewards for your photos, which is great, and I love that. I love doing that. And going to your specific photo areas. The first thing I did when I went, right, got the camera, let's go take a photo. Bound to be something for this. It's bound to... Right, where is it? There's Mount Fuji. Right, let's get that in shot. Got this all perfectly lined up. Snap, no new items in shot. I was like, you bastards. Surely Mount Fuji is the one that you are going to, that you're going to go for. But no Mount Fuji.
Disgraceful.
But it is Mount Fuji, but you don't get a reward for taking a photo.
That's terrible.
Yeah. I wonder if any DLC will take you up Mount Fuji at some point.
Yeah, that will be excellent. It's got to be on the cards. But it's a fantastic game. It's the best one they've done, and to do that after all these years is incredible. So yeah, fair play to them.
Now I would say before we close out, I know we're praising Forza, and we are praising the game, and we said it we're going to talk about the game today. We are not ignoring the fact that, we have touched on, we are not ignoring that Microsoft are a reprehensible company who support genocide, and I honestly believe you should boycott where you can. Everyone's going to have a moment of weakness for something. Mine is with this game. Personally, I've offset by making a donation to a Gaza charity. I think I said to you off air, Stu, it's one that supports children's in Gaza, food, medical supplies, that kind of thing. That has helped me a bit with a series I love. They never judge anyone based on what their line is, because we are at such a grey area. The line is so thick with these companies, what's going on in the world, that it's so easy to step over that line or get close to stepping over the line. I wrestled with myself for Forza. Now, you said you got it gifted, so for you that's I would rather that if someone decided to buy it for me, I'd be, that's me, happy there. You can't judge anyone. If someone plays and enjoys the Hogwarts Legacy game, I will not call them out for playing and enjoying it. I might call them out if they're buying it out of spite. Then that's a thing. If I'm like, I'm going to support Microsoft because I support Israel, that's more out of spite. If there's a game in a series you love and you think that at some point you're going to pick it up anyway, don't deny yourself. Do whatever you've got to do to make it right for yourself. Don't let anyone tell you what you did was right, what you did was wrong, and just don't let it hang over you.
Yeah, exactly. I completely agree. I mean, if you found out tomorrow that something like Stardew Valley was made by a mass murderer, it isn't, but, just as an example, that wouldn't change the loveliness of the game, It's just whoever... No. If you're buying a game whose content is, good, essentially good, or, is positive, and is positive toward not just towards, it's not just your feelings whilst playing the game, but is positive and representative, then ultimately that's a good thing. You're contributing to good in the world just by engaging with positive things. The unfortunate economic fiscal reality of it is not always going to be your problem. You can't just separate yourself from the world. We live in a post-industrial society where everything links back to horrid great big corporations doing terrible things, and you can't just completely separate yourself from that. So no, we're not making any moral judgments or ethical judgments on people for playing the game.
I did try and pirate it, but it's a pain in the arse. It's like really difficult to pirate because of the online aspect. So I did try and pirate it because that was my go-to. I want to play it. Oh, fuck it, I'm going to pirate it. Unfortunately. So yeah, there is that.
Fair play.
Because again, with all these vehicles, if you can pirate something against them, do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But yeah, on that, yeah, it was like great game, reprehensible company, but not Playground. They're decent. They're decent folks, apparently. So yeah, just enjoy what you enjoy and make it right for whatever you need to do.
Totally agree. Yeah, and that's a great way to end the podcast. So, as usual, follow us on all the socials. Make sure you're checking out our content on the website. Join us to chat on Discord. And until next week, stay safe and stay sane.
And fuck the Dutch.